man, there's pros and cons of both.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the cons first. The cons are going to be a longer prep's a longer prep. That's just, I mean, that is the con, right? A longer prep is the fact that you're doing it for longer. So the downside of that is mentally and physically, there are those things that are going to be difficult are going to be there for longer. Now, in a shorter prep, of course, depending on the amount of body fat you need to lose and whatnot, there may be a different level of discomfort, but it might be for a shorter period of time. So some people might prefer that. You know, they might prefer just like, let's just go ahead and like hit this thing with a hammer and just do it, right? And that's not necessarily a bad approach, but with the longer prep, you're definitely going to probably start feeling the effects a lot later in the process, just because of the speed of the prep and the fact that you have had time to do things like more refeeding, more diet breaks, even like training deloads, you know, stuff like that. That's where the whole idea of, especially if you're not a national level competitor or you're not a pro level competitor, maybe not even having a date for your shows, you know, maybe having a more open-ended prep timeline can be really beneficial for people. You know, if you compete in the NPC, you've got options like all the time. You know what I mean? There's shows every weekend. Travel, of course, is a factor, but with the shorter prep, I would say some of the pros would be, from like an adaptation standpoint, you could potentially argue that you are in that more severe environment for a shorter period of time. So there's less time to create some of those negative adaptations depending on how hard you're having to push, right? So I have had success with some people where they've done the longer prep in the past and they're like, man, my body just gave out.
Yeah.
Because it was just too long. And so we tried the little bit more moderate, you know, medium to shorter length approach, and it tended to work better for them. Like me personally, I'm somebody that mentally and with my job and with my environment, the little bit longer approach works better for me personally. And the reason for that too is because I personally can do the whole first, you know, 70% of prep with pretty minimal interruptions in my life.
Yep.
You know, like my whole prep for nationals and stuff last year, I had a free meal every week all the way up to like a certain point. And because I had time, you know, I had time to do all those things. And of course I had to really fine tune in those last like 8 weeks. But up until then, you know, I had some fatigue and I got tired at times, but I largely did the same stuff every day. You know, it really wasn't much different.
Yeah.